Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general mini cross reading for August 2021. We're going to be taking a look at what the Leo full moon has in store for you across your second house. Your second house rules everything that you own, earn, or owe. This is you personally, not monies that you have in conjunction with a partner or a spouse. So this is going to be about your bank accounts, your stocks, your shares, your bonds, your 401k, your retirement, any mortgages, rents, landladies, things of that nature, your personal possessions, so your car, your jewelry, your clothes, your movable possessions. It's also going to be about your self-esteem and your self-values, okay? So we had on the 24th, we had the full moon at 0 Leo, and that activates the Leo eclipse points that we had from 2017 through to 2018. We had a series of eclipses that ran across the Leo Aquarius axis. So if you can think back to what you were doing during that time, the theme may be coming back around. It culminated, that series of eclipses, on January 20th, 2019 at 0 Leo, right? And that was the end of that eclipse series across the Leo Aquarius axis. If you're a member of the website, you can go to the website, to the search box, and type in the astrological axes, and that'll pull up a couple of articles for you explaining what that means, the two axes, what they mean. On the wheel, on the natal wheel, the chart, each house is opposite another one, so that's known as an axis, okay? And so I have with me the Radiant White deck. I have Levita Sibila for clarification, and you're going to get an opportunity to formulate a question, one question for the angel answer cards. This is my last reading. My wrist is completely swollen. I don't know if you can see it from shuffling and dealing cards. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around, and we're going to get started, okay? As after this, I'm going to turn my computer off, and then I'll do all my editing tomorrow. All right. So, well, that card just fell out, did it not? The Seven of Swords has made a... Now, the Seven of Swords is a funny card. This is the crux of the matter, okay? Traditionally, this card is interpreted as lying, deception, spies, thievery, that kind of thing. I have seen this card show up when it speaks about a house move. That's a very old interpretation, and I like to throw it out because I've seen it a couple of times when I've been reading for people where it showed up as a house reading. I mean, a house move. The other meaning of the card is rushing around, things not going to plan, not the way you thought they were, and it's because, though, your thoughts are scattered. They're kind of everywhere, right? So we're going to see exactly what this represents here, but this is the crux of the matter. Let me go ahead and pull these cards out for you. What is the foundation? It is the Ten of Swords. Well, we know that the Ten of Swords is it's the end of a situation. Why? Because it's a 10, and it speaks to you about it also being the darkest before the dawn. Now, this has with it, or comes with it, the idea or the sense of betrayal, being stabbed in the back. It could also be like an ambush type situation. Let's see what the rest of the cards have to say. What is the energy of the near and distant past? It is the Knight of Wands. Interesting. Definitely some kind of situation coming back around. What is the unknown energy? It is the Nine of Wands. That's interesting. Now, what is the energy of the near or distant future? It is the Hanged Man. Now, all three of these figures are faced towards the past. So I think this is a situation that either is coming back around or it's something you're going to have to go back over again. And this may go all the way back to 2017. I'm sorry. He is a 12. So what is the energy over the entire reading? It is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, this may be somebody that you're dealing with, someone in your, that's around you, but this could also be you. So even though you are a Cancer, you could, maybe this is speaking about your profession. Maybe you are a banker, or you are a teller. Maybe you're a financial advisor. Maybe you are a stockbroker. Maybe you have a job where you handle lots of money. An accountant, something of that nature. Basically, this card is neither good nor bad, sitting over the entire reading, and it speaks about someone who can be very grounded, someone who's very helpful, someone who loves animals and children and the ecology, and is an ecologically minded kind of a person, so loves nature. And she's focused on this coin that she has on her lap. Now, in the spread itself, so to me, it's swords and wands. So this is thoughts, perceptions, belief, ideas, communication versus determination, focus, fire, okay, and movement. Now, the Knight of Wands will traditionally represent an individual, but for me, they always show up as an event. In other words, they bring news, they bring messages, but this news and this message moves the situation along. And what I'm saying is the energy really is running back this way. So right now, things are, even though I laid the cards in this configuration, the energy of the card, the spread is moving this way. So this tells me that right now, things are kind of hung up. Maybe they're not moving at all. You've been trying to figure out what the problem is, but nothing that you've been doing is going to plan the way you thought it would, or the way you planned it out, or the way you hoped it would, okay? This could also be the idea of trying to escape destiny, right? Or outrun your karma. Maybe there's something that you did, right, that didn't go the way you think it is, and now you're trying to not let it touch you, right? But we see the situation moves quite quickly, but it is definitely related to something in your past. So when I say you're near a distant past, since there's no timing in the tarot, like I said, this could go all the way back to 2017, that time frame of 2017 to 2019. Okay, definitely something has come back around. Let me take a look for you to see first if I can get an indication of any of these cards. I can't look at him because traditionally he represents a person. And this card, as a person, a characteristic of a person, is somebody who just kind of rushes around and does stuff and doesn't quite complete the task. Okay? They rush in, they ride in right quick, they bring a lot of hullabaloo and a lot of energy with them, and then they ride off real quick into the sunset, or wherever it is that they come from. Okay? So we're going to take a look at these 7 swords first. Now, often depicted as a trickster energy, this may indicate that things may not work out as planned or expected. You are asked to show some tenacity and boldness in action to bring about your desired results. You are encouraged to dare to be bold and brave and take risks at this time. It may be implying that you are carrying a heavy load or burden upon your shoulders. So you are asked to delegate task and responsibility to others and not to take on other people's responsibilities for them, as this denies them the opportunity to learn the lessons of their own actions in regards to cause and effect or karma. It may indicate that dealings may be dishonest or not straightforward and direct, so it brings a message to be particularly aware of all proceedings and remain cautious. This card implies that we, or sometimes others, may feel obligated to behave in ways that are not direct, but which we accept, hoping that the end will justify the means. Now, this card can also be an indication that something you thought lost will be returned to you, and this may include the rekindling of friendships and or old ties. while it suggests that your plans are not working out, it asks you to look for an alternative. If your plan does not work out, you should not look to place blame on others, but rather look to yourself for reasons for the failure. It may also indicate that the most likely cause of failure is hasty actions and a lack of focus and concentration. It is a warning that your plans will not work out at this time due to circumstances beyond your control. You may need to look to alternative options or means. It tells of upset plans, postponements, delays, and cancellations. It is as though everything is going wrong with you at the moment. It implies stealth around someone who attempts to outsmart destiny and evade the consequences of wrongdoings. It tells of the possibility of tension, arguments, disagreements, and misunderstandings within a current situation. It may also imply that someone is spying or delving into issues that are not their business. It may be warning you yourself to be honest and upfront in all your dealings. Otherwise, you will be caught out, and this will have a detrimental effect on all levels. But also, the card may be implying that you are inclined to take flight from a situation rather than face up to and take the appropriate responsibility or action to find a solution. But it can also tell of surprise and unexpected opportunities. Now, it doesn't tell me anything being next to this Hanged Man. Now, there's 3 swords missing from here. We go from a 7 to a 10. So there's 3 swords. Okay? And once those 3 swords have, been loosed or have fallen out, okay, then we can move this way, because that's really how the energy is moving. So the 10 of Swords, tens equal 1, so they indicate new beginnings, changes, and implies that there's a focus on failure and destruction. But it tells of a painful end to a difficult situation and implies that a karmic or life lesson has been learned. It suggests that the destructive situation you are involved in has reached a climax, and in the near future you will be able to think more clearly. It may even suggest a separation or severance of ties within a relationship. It can be implying that a job and or social position may be in jeopardy. It may be telling of travel, either over or by water. It can be warning about someone who wants control over another for their own gain. They are insecure within themselves and feel the need to possess or control the other in an effort to appease the ego. It is warning you to take the utmost cautious when undertaking any new ventures at this time, particularly if you will be dealing with people who you do not know well or at all. This leads to feelings of distrust and suspicion. These feelings may be warranted, so look closely at all avenues and from all angles, and only proceed if you feel it is the right thing to do for you. It may be telling of the conclusion of something that has caused a great deal of pain and anguish in the near past. Whether it be in a relationship or a business situation, the 10 of Swords implies that the crisis point has been reached and things will now be resolved and things will now improve all around. It could be depicting a trap or an ambush-like situation and tells of an unexpected negative occurrences. And it also may be implying that an legal issue looms large. But guess what? It tells me nothing next to this Hanged Man. So now I'm going to look at this 9 of Wands here. It implies rewards and beneficial gains brought about by past deeds. Hardships and struggles in the past have built resilience and character, and this is now being acknowledged. With this comes a more balanced, mature, and discerning approach to life's problems and issues. It is a message to use discretion and to maintain control over your own personal interests. It asks you to hold on to your belief set and to protect your own affairs. You have the knowledge, mindset, and ability to succeed at whatever you set your mind to. Do not allow others to sway you from your path. It may be indicating that your life seems to be at a standstill. Again, you are asked to hold on to your beliefs, stand firm, know what needs to be done, and then do it. You have the strength, knowledge, and ability to see this through to fruition. Perseverance and persistence is the key. This card asks you to remember where you have been and what you have experienced in your life so far, and it asks that you use discernment and discretion always. Appearing in a reading, nines indicate the completion of events, and there is a focus on opposition in strength and opposition. It indicates that there could be a suspension of events, but you do have the advantage at the present time. It suggests that there has been a conflict previously, and you are forewarned that there may be more to come ahead of you. But the card also tells of obstinacy and also eventual victory. Steady force will need to be applied. And it says nothing being next to this Hanged Man here. Now, let me read the Hanged Man, and then I'm going to pull cards on this. I'm going to look at this Ten of Swords. I know you guys probably want me to look at that 7. The Hanged Man. He's number 12. It is telling you that this is a time of trial or meditation, selflessness, sacrifice, and or prophecy. You are asked to stop resisting and instead make yourself vulnerable. Sacrifice your position or opposition, and in doing so gain illumination. Answers that may have eluded you become clear, and solutions to problems are found. The Hangman implies the ability to view things from a higher perspective. It tells of flowing with life with a strong belief in successful outcomes based on faith rather than knowledge. The unseen workings of a higher cosmic nature will bring you pleasure and luck. When he appears in a reading, there is a focus on reflecting on what is happening here and now. It implies that you should think of ways in which you can make compromises in order to avoid failure. It may also imply a time when everything just stands still, a time of rest and reflection before moving on. Things will continue on in a moment, but for now, they float timeless. This card reminds us that the best approach to a problem is not always the most obvious. When we most want to force our will on someone, that is when we should release. When we most want to have our way, that is when we should sacrifice. When we most want to act, this is when we should wait. The irony is that by making these contradictory moves, we find what we are looking for. It asks you and tells you to be aware of another's motives. Do not allow yourself to be misled, so be prepared to exercise your personal strength and will. It asks you to be prepared for big changes within your home and family life and or career sector. It tells you to be prepared for new and innovative ideas that will bring about positive change. This card represents a period of rest before activity and shows the bringing of things to a halt or to place something in suspension. You may feel as though you are engulfed or powerless in current situations and are unable to do anything constructive, but go with the flow and submit. You may even feel compelled to sacrifice a goal or desire. It may be telling you that this is not the right time to force movement or change, as to do so may bring more obstacles and frustrations. Patience is called for. It asks you to learn to relax both physically and mentally, allowing the higher forces to renew your existence. Be tolerant of all things and know that you are an essential part of the life force around you. It implies that things may temporarily be suspended, which may cause considerable frustration. Faith and trust is required, and patience is needed to wait for the tides to turn and the desired changes to take effect or come to fruition. It can also indicate a reversal of thought, much like putting the cart before the horse. It's kind of what I'm getting. It's like you're going back on something. You're doing something maybe you said you didn't want to do or you would never do. It tells of someone who is at a crossroads of life, but asks you not to fear this, as you will be on your way again shortly. It tells of a need to recognize your own abilities and build your plans accordingly. It indicates great potential for growth and tells of the need to move away from things of an emotional nature. This card can mean a change in attitude or direction that is personally rewarding but misunderstood by others. I remember, I don't know, was it from 2015 to 2017? I had the Hangman for 2 years in almost all of my readings. And right now, the Hangman, who represents Neptune, he's sitting in Pisces. He's been in Pisces for, I don't know when he entered, but it takes him 162 years to make a complete revolution around the zodiac. So he's going to be in Pisces for some time to come. Let me see if I can see. He made a move. He was at 16 Pisces for like 4 or 5 years. And he's moved forward, and he's retrograded, and he'll be moving forward again, and he'll be retrograding again, and before he leaves. So let's see, what is his, where is he sitting now? He's actually moved to 22 Pisces, and he is retrograde Cancer. So he was sitting at 16 degrees for the longest time, and he'd been there for so long, I stopped checking. So he's moved all the way to 22. So there's some movement for you. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these cards. And I guess for you, I will look at this Seven of Swords, because I hear y'all asking me, what is the Seven of Swords about? And on the one hand, I think for some of you, it may be really somebody who has did something dirty and underhanded and sneaky. And for others of you, I feel that things have been so slow in moving that you just decide to go ahead and make a move anyway, and it might not have worked out the way you thought it did. Life lesson learned. Sometimes you really just have to be patient, bide your time, keep making your plans, keep tweaking your things. Okay, because eventually it's going to move, and we see that here. But this is taking us going backwards. So let's see what the 7 has to say. The Allegrezza al Cuore. Now, that card represents celebrations and good things, right? So this could be a marriage, a wedding, a birth. But also in business, it means good contracts and decent partners that you can work with, right? The Mercante. The King of Pentacles. So this tells me it is somebody either that you know or you work with or you have some kind of business dealings with. Now this guy can be a businessman, an entrepreneur, but he could also be a banker, like you went to go get a mortgage, a loan or something. Maybe you signed a contract that you didn't realize what it said on the inside. This can happen. This is that 7 of Swords can be that card too. So a lot of times I tell people, if you're signing documents or there's something coming up that you're going to have to put your signature on, and that 7 of Swords shows up, don't sign it. Get somebody else to look over it first, because there's something in it that you're not seeing. And the Donna de Servizio. All 3 very good cards. So that last interpretation that I gave you, an unexpected opportunity, the 7 of Swords may not have anything to do with you. It could just be the situation as it is. And this is what this is. The Donna de Servizio is a helper. She's an intensifier. So this could be the idea of something happened, maybe for this Mercante, right? And now he's out looking for somebody to come in and help him along. All right? Let's see this 10 of Swords. He's the King of Pentacles, by the way, this Mercante. So what is the 10 of Swords all about? Now, interestingly enough, you guys know I don't do health readings, but this could be a physical health issue. You know, whenever I see this card, this tells me maybe somebody's suffering from migraines, or they have vertigo, headaches, or feeling kind of out of sorts in the head. Maybe they have a back problem, or a hip problem, or a knee problem, or a leg problem, or a foot problem. All right? And this sometimes tells me that somebody may be suffering from neck pain and back pain. All right? They can't get up. So, let's see. And here the person's all beat up, battered, and bruised. You see that? Some kind of injury. Right. So, let's see here. Again, it's a head issue, though. What is the Ten of Swords trying to tell us? It's really the darkest before the dawn. It says that the light's about to come. Illness. This is about someone being sick or ill. This is what this is. The Casa. And the Lamante, male lover. Now, the Casa is an interesting card because it represents, yes, the home. So this talks to us about your sense of safety and security. It represents the family unit, tradition. It also, though, can sometimes speak about what goes on behind closed doors. We don't always see. So it could speak about someone keeping things closed or hidden behind closed doors, so to speak. You don't get a chance to see in. But this card also sometimes, it looks like such an official looking building. So it could be like a bank or an office or some kind of official building here. But what we're dealing with is literally either someone being ill and at home, right? Or it is the idea of somebody sick of being at home. Maybe they're ill and they can't work, they can't get out. So the whole situation is just making it very difficult for them. It is this Lamante who comes at the very end that kind of throws me, because I don't understand what he's saying to me. So let's read about the Lamante male. He is in effect a Knight of Cups, the lover. Typically, someone can be from their late 20s up to their mid-40s. Usually unmarried. Usually. But the card tells of success in love and business. But there's a sense of longing and having to wait. This is the most practical manifestation of this card, which indicates situations that are in a developmental phase, but usually a positive phase. The card can also foretell a welcome surprise, positive news, a passionate love affair, the fulfillment of a dream. It places great emphasis on feelings and that the person is living through a particularly sensitive and emotional time. Now, in terms of health, it refers to the nervous system and or the hands. So I really can't tell you what this means, particularly here with this Casa in the middle of the reading. And the Casa is also a cup card in this deck. And we have these three lovely cards of marriage and happiness and social climbing and wonderful things happening, opportunities. But then we see the only odd card out is this Ammalato. So the Casa, it has several meanings. Quite literally, home and hearth, the house, and a residential property. It can usually represent your home, but can also represent somebody else's home, right? And typically it's the person who is next to it. So this tells me this is somebody perhaps that you are dealing with that may be ill. It's surrounding their home. But the second meaning is broader because it represents the family, including extended family, anything that can influence the dynamics of the family. Everyday life and one's routine. And this card says, just as it's an interruption in everyday life or routine. This card could just be like, I'm so tired of dealing with this situation. Maybe you're taking care of someone who's ill at home, right? And just they're getting on your nerves, you know, and you can't take no more, right? Okay. So it also says it heralds good and harmonious relationships, reconciliations after quarrel or separation, comfortable surroundings, or having someone or something to lean on or turn to in times of trouble. It is an alcove and a nest which offers protection from the difficulties of the outside world, hence the closed doors and windows, which allow no negative outside influence to come in. No matter how hard or dangerous life can become, this card foretells that you will be protected and come out unscathed. When protection is not given by a family member or a close friend, but by assets, it is an earned protection card. The third meaning derives from the type of house. It is a palace, not an average house. So in this instance, the house predicts stability, protection, wealth, physical and emotional well-being. In a health reading, it represents the skeletal system, good health or regained health after an illness. Now, in financial matters, it represents the family budget, but can also represent an established business, an inheritance, important financial decisions that yield good results, a business based on solid foundations, prosperous business dealings, money coming in, and even a home-based or family business. Well, but the house can also represent someone's most intimate feelings, their fears, hopes, desires, and the contents of their subconscious mind, and the hidden side of one's personality that is rarely shown in public. This card also foretells of the imminent solution of a problem or can reveal the hidden cause of a problematic situation. It still heralds a promising future. Usually the events predicted by this card are quick to manifest within a week and sometimes as quickly as 48 hours. And I see that. It's coming. This is usually within, this represents days. So that's what I have for you, Cancer. I don't quite exactly know somebody who reconciles the situation. You know if this is somebody at your house who's sick, who's making you sick because they can't get out the house. They always at home. They ain't never leaving. So it's just this odd amuleto card. And sometimes this can show up when some people, family members maybe just being a real drain on you, right? So let me, I want you to formulate your question for the angel answer cards. Oh wow, this is a long reading for you. But it's just such an odd reading. All of these really weird cards, but then on top of that, we've got some kind of positive news. It's just that one odd card out. So here we go. The card says, if you believe. Now, maybe that ain't what you want to hear, but that's what the card has to say. So here we are, if you believe. What you need right now is faith. That's what this card is telling you. But you can have what you desire, but you must believe that it can be so. Stay positive and visualize the outcome you're hoping for. Set aside all negativity or pessimism in favor of a sunny outlook. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all just do positive thinking, affirmations, and shit going to happen. You got to get out and do something too, right? Okay, stuff ain't just going to fall out of the sky, but you got to put yourself in the right mindset to be able to attract that goodness into you. It says the law of attraction brings to us what we expect to receive. If our perception is that we deserve great things, then we will attract happiness. But if we fall into doubt and do not believe in our own self-worth, then our experiences will match that energy. Believe in yourself and your cherished dreams. And that statement, if we fall into doubt and don't believe in our own self-worth, is what the second house is all about. So that's what I have for you. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I do hope those men, see, I'm all sweaty. I get sweaty when I read because my gods be all around me and I be getting hot. So that's what I have for you. Until next time, be well, stay safe, and namaste.